The South China Sea, 0614 hours local time. The sky above the Spratly Islands is the particular shade of gray-pink that exists only in the first 8 minutes after nautical twilight. A window where the horizon is visible but the stars have not yet surrendered, where radar and eyesight overlap in a way that makes every airborne contact simultaneously a sensor problem and a visual one. At 28,000 feet, in a combat spread of 2 aircraft separated by 2 nautical miles, the first pair of FA-18E Super Hornets from Strike Fighter Squadron 192 is 140 nautical miles from their ship and climbing. Their call signs are SABER-1 and SABER-2. Their mission is a standard combat air patrol sweep ahead of the day's first Alpha Strike package. 4 FA-18Fs, 2 EA-18G Growlers, and 2 F-35Cs that are at this moment cycling through the catapults of the USS Carl Vinson, 180 nautical miles to the southeast. They have been airborne for 22 minutes. They are about to encounter something that was not in the morning's air tasking order. At 0617 hours, the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye, orbiting at 24,000 feet 40 miles east of the Spratly Chain, call sign Watchdog 1, paints 4 new airborne contacts emerging from the direction of the Fiery Cross Reef Artificial Island facility, climbing fast through 18,000 feet on a westerly heading. The AN/APY-9 radar's non-cooperative target recognition mode begins processing the contact signatures within 3.1 seconds of acquisition. The contacts are large. They are fast, already passing 600 knots indicated airspeed, climbing steeply. And they are emitting nothing. No radar, no transponder, no radio. Their electromagnetic silence is deliberate and professional, and it tells the Watchdog 1 crew exactly what the contacts are before the NECTR processing completes. These are not patrol aircraft. These are fighters, Chinese fighters, and they are on an intercept heading for SABER-1 and SABER-2. The contacts are J-20 Mighty Dragon stealth air superiority fighters. The People's Liberation Army Air Force's crown jewel, China's answer to the F-22 Raptor, a twin-engine Canard Delta configuration designed from the outset for low observable operations, BVR combat, and the specific mission of neutralizing American carrier-based air power in the Western Pacific. 4 of them, climbing through the pre-dawn murk in a tactical formation that reflects genuine training, genuine doctrine, and a genuine understanding of beyond visual range air combat geometry. Whoever planned this intercept knows what they are doing. That makes them the most professionally dangerous adversary that American carrier aviation has faced in operational conditions since the Cold War ended. It also makes them the most professionally dangerous adversary that American carrier aviation has been preparing to defeat for the past 12 years. Let us talk about the J-20, because the People's Republic of China has invested enormous national pride in this aircraft, and its capabilities deserve honest technical assessment before we discuss why 4 of them are about to have a very bad morning. The J-20 is a large fighter, approximately 20.3 meters in length, with a maximum takeoff weight estimated between 35,000 and 37,000 kilograms, powered by 2 WS-15, emitting thrust vectoring turbofan engines in the latest production variants, producing approximately 18,000 kilograms of thrust each in afterburner. Its airframe geometry incorporates a number of low observable design features: a chined forebody, internal weapons bays, edge-aligned planform surfaces, and radar-absorbing materials applied to the leading edges. Western intelligence assessments have credited the J-20 with a frontal radar cross-section meaningfully below 1 square meter, a significant achievement that reflects genuine Chinese investment in stealth technology and materials science over the past 2 decades. The J-20 carries the PL-15 Beyond Visual Range air-to-air missile, China's answer to the AIM-120D AMRAAM, In its main internal weapons bay, with a stated range exceeding 200 kilometers and an active radar seeker derived from Chinese AESA technology. It also carries the PL-10 short-range infrared-guided missile in its side weapon bays for within-visual range combat. Its primary sensor is the Type 1475 AESA radar, sometimes designated KLJ-5 in Western reporting, a capable system with an estimated detection range against a 1 square meter target of 150-plus kilometers in lookup geometry. It is, by any reasonable measure, a formidable combat aircraft. By any reasonable measure except one, the measure that counts when 4 of them are climbing toward 2 FA-18Es that have already been warned, are already maneuvering, and are connected by datalink to an air defense architecture that sees everything, everywhere, continuously. At 06:18 hours, Watchdog 1 transmits the contact data to SABER-1 and SABER-2 via Link 16. The 2 Super Hornets receive the J-20 positions, headings, speeds, and altitudes simultaneously. A complete tactical picture of the threat, provided by a sensor platform 40 miles away, before either pilot has any possibility of detecting the J-20S with his own aircraft radar in the target's low observable aspect. This is the first and most fundamental asymmetry of the engagement. The J-20S are flying toward contacts they cannot yet definitively locate. The Super Hornets are flying with the complete positions of the J-20S on their displays, provided by an airborne radar that sees through the stealth. The AN/APY-9 radar aboard the E-2D Advanced Hawkeye does not detect the J-20SS the same way the J-20S own radar would detect a non-stealthy aircraft. The APY-9 operates in the ultra-high frequency band, a frequency regime where the J-20's stealth shaping provides significantly less reduction in radar cross-section than it does in the X-band frequencies where fighter radars operate. This is a fundamental physics constraint of radar cross-section management. Shaping and materials optimized to defeat X-band radars are less effective against UHF band surveillance radars, which have wavelengths that interact with the aircraft's structural dimensions differently. The J-20 was designed to defeat fighter radars and surface-based fire control radars. The APY-9 is neither. It is a purpose-built surveillance radar that American engineers specifically designed to detect and track low observable targets in the cluttered environment of the Western Pacific, where the detection of Chinese stealth aircraft was recognized as the operational priority before the J-20 completed its first flight test. SABER-1's pilot acknowledges the Watchdog 1 data, checks his tactical display, and makes 3 decisions in approximately 4 seconds. He assesses the J-20 formation's geometry, a 2-ship lead pair and a 2-ship trail pair, separated vertically by approximately 6,000 feet, the lead pair at 24,000 feet and climbing, the trail pair still below 20,000 feet. He determines that the J-20 lead pair's current heading and speed will put them at PL-15 launch range against SABER-2 in approximately 4 minutes if no defensive maneuver is executed. And he transmits a single word to the carrier strike group's tactical frequency: Spades, the code word that activates the contingency response package for a hostile intercept north of the Spratly chain. The response to Spades was pre-briefed at the morning's 0430 Alpha Strike planning session. It involves 4 immediate actions. The 2 F-35Cs on the Carl Vinson's catapults, Ghost 1 and Ghost 2, are launched immediately, pushing to military power as soon as they clear the ship's bow, climbing southwest at best speed toward the merge geometry. The EA-18G Growler pair, already airborne, Jammer 1 and Jammer 2, activates their AN/ALQ-99 jamming systems against the J-20 formation's radar operating frequencies. The Carl Vinson's own CEC network reaches out to the USS Bunker Hill. CG-52, the Ticonderoga-class cruiser in the strike group's inner screen, whose AN/SPY-1B radar is now sweeping the contact bearing at full power, adding its track data to the CEC picture. And Watchdog 1 repositions 10 nautical miles north to improve its track geometry on the J-20 trail pair. All 4 actions execute within 90 seconds of SABER-1's Spade's call. At 0621 hours, the J-20 lead pair crosses 28,000 feet and levels, accelerating to approximately 680 knots in a fuel-efficient afterburner pulse. Their pilots are now looking at their own tactical displays. The J-20's Type 1475A ESA radar is active, searching in a low probability of intercept waveform that minimizes the radar's detectable emissions while maintaining search capability. They are looking for SABER-1 and SABER-2. What their radar shows them is intermittent, ambiguous returns at approximately 75 nautical miles. The F/A-18E's radar cross-section from a head-on aspect is not trivially small, but the Jammer-1 and Jammer-2 EA-18G Growlers AN/ALQ-99 jamming is already contaminating the J-20 radar picture with broadband noise in the Type 1475's operating band. The J-20 pilots can see that something is there. They cannot see it clearly enough to generate a fire control solution. The F/A-18E Super Hornet is not a stealthy aircraft by modern standards. Its radar cross-section is measured in fractions of a square meter in some aspects, but it is a 1990s design that prioritizes combat versatility over low observability. Under normal electromagnetic conditions, the J-20's Type 1475 radar would acquire it cleanly at 80+ nautical miles and begin generating a fire control quality track at 60 nautical miles. Tonight, the electromagnetic conditions are not normal. The EA-18G Growler is the reason. The Growler is the world's only dedicated airborne electronic attack aircraft still in production, and its AN/ALQ-99 jamming system, supplemented in the latest configuration by the next-generation jammer pods that Jammer-1 is carrying on its centerline station, generates jamming power across the J-20's radar operating band that degrades the Type 1475's effective detection range by a factor that classified briefings describe as significant. The unclassified translation: the J-20 pilots are flying toward contacts they know are there but cannot precisely locate in an electromagnetic environment specifically designed by American engineers to create exactly this problem. At 0623 hours, Ghost 1 and Ghost 2, the 2 F-35Cs, cross 18,000 feet and are now 90 nautical miles southwest of the J-20 lead pair, climbing. The F-35C is a different problem for the J-20 than the F/A-18E. The F-35C's radar cross-section, the result of a deliberately low observable design philosophy applied to every aspect of the airframe, from the DSI intake geometry to the weapon's bay door edge alignment, is in the range of 0.001 square meters in the frontal hemisphere. The J-20's Type 1475 radar, operating through EA-18G jamming, has, at 90 nautical miles, essentially zero probability of detecting the F-35Cs at all. The Ghost aircraft are invisible. They know where the J-20S are via the CEC datalink. The J-20S do not know the F-35CS exist. The F-35C's AN/APG-81 AESA radar, a system that in its low probability of intercept mode generates radar emissions that are effectively undetectable by the J-20's radar warning receiver at ranges below 40 nautical miles, is painting the J-20 lead pair with high resolution at 0624 hours. The Ghost pilots have fire control quality tracks on both lead J-20ES. They are computing AIM-120D AMRAAM firing solutions. The AIM-120 20D has a maximum engagement range against a non-maneuvering target at this closure rate of approximately 110 nautical miles. The J-20 lead pair is currently 88 nautical miles from Ghost 1. The solution is valid, but the engagement sequence is not simply two F-35Cs firing from beyond visual range at J-20Es that cannot detect them, because the tactical situation is more complex and the rules of engagement in a non-wartime confrontation require a warning sequence before kinetic engagement. At 06:24 hours and 44 seconds, the strike group's carrier air wing commander, airborne in an FA-18F two-seat variant as the Alpha Strike lead, transmits on the emergency frequency used by all military aircraft in the South China Sea region in English and Mandarin. The four aircraft approaching from the direction of Fiery Cross Reef are directed to reverse course immediately and exit the airspace ahead. They are advised that they are approaching United States Navy aircraft conducting lawful operations in international airspace, and that continued approach will be treated as a hostile act. The J-20 formation does not respond. It does not alter course. At 06:25 hours and 12 seconds, the lead pair accelerates to 720 knots and begins a gradual descent, a profile consistent with transitioning from the cruise phase of their intercept to the engagement phase, closing the range against the Saber aircraft while maneuvering to complicate any defensive response. Their radar emissions intensify slightly, suggesting the Type 1475 has shifted from search mode to a higher power scan rate, consistent with fire control preparation. At 06:25 hours and 41 seconds, the carrier air wing commander authorizes defensive engagement. The authorization is immediate, clear, and transmitted to all platforms in the CEC network simultaneously. Ghost 1 fires first. A single AIM-120D from his starboard internal weapons bay, targeted against the northernmost J-20 of the lead pair. The missile exits the bay on an ejector rack that accelerates it clear of the aircraft before motor ignition, a sequence that takes 0.4 seconds. And the AMRAAMs solid fuel motor lights at 06:25 hours and 43 seconds. Ghost 2 fires 2 seconds later, targeting the southern J-20 of the lead pair. The two missiles are in the air before the J-20 pilots' radar warning receivers have detected anything inconsistent with the jamming environment they have been flying through for the past 8 minutes. The AIM-120D in the extended range configuration carries its own active radar seeker that activates at a pre-computed range from the target, typically 15 to 20 nautical miles in BVR engagements, allowing the launching aircraft to break away and deny the adversary a targeting solution while the missile homes autonomously. The seeker activation of Ghost 1's AMRAAM occurs at approximately 06:27 hours and 12 seconds. The J-20 pilot, whose aircraft is the target, receives his first radar warning receiver alert at 06:27 hours and 14 seconds. 2 seconds after the active seeker has already locked his aircraft and is in terminal homing. 2 seconds is not enough time to execute an effective defensive maneuver against a missile at 20 nautical miles closure range. He executes his defensive turn anyway. A high G brake turn to the right, combined with chaff deployment and a throttle reduction designed to reduce his infrared signature. The AIM-120D's seeker discriminates between the chaff cloud and the aircraft using a Doppler velocity gate that the chaff cannot replicate and homes on the aircraft. It detonates its 23-kilogram continuous rod warhead in proximity at 06:27 hours and 31 seconds. The northern J-20 of the lead pair sustains catastrophic structural compromise. The aircraft is rendered inoperable and removed from the battlespace. The southern J-20 pilot, alerted by his wingman's radar warning receiver data shared over the datalink, initiates his defensive brake 1.4 seconds earlier than his wingman did. A marginal but meaningful difference in warning time that gives him a slightly better defensive geometry against Ghost 2's AMRAAM. He deploys a full chaff and flare sequence, executes a maximum G defensive turn, and simultaneously activates his own Type 1475 radar at full power in an attempt to generate a firing solution on Ghost 2 before the AMRAAM reaches him. His radar, no longer operating in low probability of intercept mode, immediately gives Ghost 2's AN/APG-81 a clear return, confirming the J-20's location with precision that makes Ghost 2's own targeting task marginally easier. The AMRAAM's seeker activates at 17 nautical miles. The J-20 pilot's defensive turn has displaced his aircraft approximately 2.4 nautical miles from the missile's initial intercept prediction. The AIM-120D's mid-course guidance, updated via the CEC data link from Ghost 2's radar and from Watchdog 1's track simultaneously, corrects for the displacement in 0.3 seconds. The J-20's chaff does not defeat the seeker. The second J-20 of the lead pair is incapacitated at 06:27 hours and 49 seconds. The J-20 trail pair, still below 24,000 feet, 22 nautical miles behind where the lead pair was engaged, has now observed 2 radar warning receiver alerts and 2 impact events on their data link. Their tactical situation has changed completely in the past 22 seconds. They are no longer the hunters. They are no longer approaching contacts they cannot precisely locate in a jamming environment. They are 2 aircraft whose lead element has just been neutralized by missiles that came from a direction their radar cannot see clearly, fired by aircraft they cannot detect, guided by a sensor network they cannot locate or jam. They break south. Maximum afterburner. The geometry of their brake puts them on a heading that takes them directly toward the Fiery Cross Reef facility, the nearest Chinese territory, at approximately 800 knots. SABER-1 and SABER-2, which have been maneuvering defensively throughout the engagement and are now 55 nautical miles east of the engagement position, are cleared to pursue. They do not pursue. Their mission is not pursuit. The J-20 trail pair is departing the engagement area at maximum speed. They are no longer a threat to the Alpha Strike package. Pursuing them toward Chinese territorial airspace over a facility that has surface-to-air missile batteries would accomplish nothing tactically and everything diplomatically. All of it bad. SABER-1 acknowledges the stand-down, does a single 360-degree clearing turn to confirm no additional contacts, and resumes the combat air patrol sweep. Watchdog 1 maintains surveillance on the J-20 trail pair until they cross inside 12 nautical miles of Fiery Cross Reef and exit its effective tracking range. At 06:31 hours, the Alpha Strike package, 4 FA-18Fs, 2 EA-18G Growlers, 2 F-35Cs, departs the Carl Vinson's flight deck on its planned mission profile. The combat air patrol sweep that began with SABER-1 and SABER-2 continues as originally planned. The South China Sea is 06:31 hours clear, and the strike group's operations proceed without further alteration to the schedule, 12 minutes. That is how long the entire engagement lasted, from Watchdog 1's initial contact to the J-20 trail pair crossing the 12 nautical mile datum near Fiery Cross Reef. In those 12 minutes, the PLA Air Force committed 4 of its most advanced combat aircraft to an intercept that was intended to demonstrate that Chinese stealth aviation can challenge American carrier air power in the South China Sea. The engagement produced a result that is precisely the opposite of that demonstration. The J-20 is a genuinely capable aircraft. This cannot be overstated, and it would be a strategic error for American defense planners to dismiss it. Its AESA radar, its PL-15 missile capability, its low observable airframe design, these are real capabilities that required real investment and real engineering talent to develop. The aircraft is not a copy. It is not a museum piece. It is a serious attempt by a serious nation to field a combat aircraft competitive with Western fifth-generation designs, and in some respects it has succeeded. But capability exists in context, and the context in which the J-20 operated this morning was an American integrated air defense network that had been designed, tested, and deployed specifically to defeat it. The AN/APY-9 radar on the E-2D Hawkeye detects the J-20 in UHF frequencies, where its stealth shaping provides limited protection. The CEC datalink distributes that detection to every platform in the strike group faster than any human communication system can relay it. The EA-18G Growler's jamming degrades the J-20's own radar performance in the frequency band where it was designed to operate. The F-35C's frontal radar cross-section in the band of the J-20's Type 1475 radar is, for all practical purposes, undetectable at combat ranges. And the AIM-120D AMRAAM, guided by a continuously updated multi-sensor CEC track, does not give the J-20's defensive systems enough time between seeker activation and intercept to execute an effective counter. The J-20 was designed to defeat the F/A-18E in a straight radar-to-radar, missile-to-missile engagement. The engagement this morning was not that engagement. The engagement this morning was a networked battle in which the J-20 faced not two F/A-18Es, but the combined sensor and weapons capability of an E-2D, two F-35Cs, two EA-18G Growlers, a Ticonderoga-class cruiser's SPY-1B radar, and the AIM-120D AMRAAM guided by all of it simultaneously. No aircraft, not the F-22, not the Su-57, not the J-20, was designed to win that fight. It is not a fight between aircraft. It is a fight between networks, and the American network won because it was built first, tested longer, and integrated more deeply than any comparable system the PLA Air Force has deployed. Two J-20S were rendered inoperable. Two J-20S returned to Fiery Cross Reef. 0 American aircraft sustained any damage. The Alpha Strike package reached its objective area on schedule. The PLA Air Force sent its best fighters to prove that American carrier aviation is vulnerable in the South China Sea. American carrier aviation sent them home with a lesson about what networked air combat looks like when the network has been operational for 30 years and the aircraft inside it have been trained to use it. The South China Sea is not a Chinese air defense identification zone that the United States Navy recognizes. It is international airspace, and the Carl Vinson's Air Wing operates in it as freely today as it did yesterday and as it will tomorrow. Bye for now.